Hello and welcome. You have tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now and ET Now, a show where we get you answers for all your stock-related queries. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me, Shel D'Souza. And viewers, in the next 1 hour, we'll take as many queries as possible. But before that, let's have a quick look what the markets are up to. So, Shel, indeed, we are in the colors of the market, but I think that the markets are for now having a good day indeed. It's Nifty Bank that is seeing decent gains in today's trading session.
Absolutely, decent gains coming in today, Shrishti, but the markets are not actually donning your color. You're wearing pista green color, so it's a light green color. The markets are now blinking dark green or sorts because you have the Nifty, the broader markets, both of them, or actually the Nifty and the broader markets have actually crossed that August 2nd closing level. So we have tried and recovered all of those losses that we had posted post that entire jitters that we had sent through the global markets on back of what happened in the Japanese markets. So yes, we are actually holding on to good gains. Let's take a look at what Nifty Bank is doing, because yesterday also in the trading session we saw Nifty Bank underperform the benchmark indices. Today it is outperforming actually the benchmark indices, holding on to gains about 7/10%. The advanced decline ratio very much tilted in the favor of gainers. Talking about gainers then, you have Hero MotoCorp, IndusInd Bank, SBI Life, HDFC Life as well as BPCL that are the top gainers on the Nifty, while on the flip side in the losing in the market, you have ONGC, Bharti Airtel, Cipla losing in today's trading session. Let's take a look at what the sectoral indices are doing at this point in time. And if you talk about the sectoral indices, it's only the FMCG and the metals that are seeing a tad bit of shade of red, while it's the PSU Bank indexing very strong gains of about 1.2%, IT index holding on to good strength, as well as you have the broader markets also that are seeing good strength in trade today, or no, not that good strength, they are underperforming the benchmarks, but nevertheless the market breadth for now is definitely in the favor of the gainers, Shrishti.
Certainly a good move for the markets, and indeed a good day. The broader markets are supportive too. But with this, viewers, let's move ahead and start taking all your stock related queries. And for today, we have two of our very special guests joining us. Mr. G Chokkalingam is joining us to guide us fundamentally, as well as Kunal Bothra is back with us today, joining us to guide us on the technical front. A very good morning to both of you, and thank you so much for your time. Let me take the first query then, and this one is coming in on PF, coming from Raman. And Mr. Chokkalingam, this one is for you. He wants an advice on a couple of counters where he can go ahead and invest afresh maybe for the next 1 to 2 years. He has stocks like PFC, Natco Pharma and PNC Infra in mind. Any of the stock that you like at this point in time amongst these three?
If he is holding them, he may hold, but for fresh investment for long term, I would not suggest, because what is expected in the long term is already delivered by these stocks. They have already become a phenomenal multibaggers. So obviously, I believe, being a conservative research analyst, you should look for what will be the next multibagger rather than what has already become a phenomenal multibagger. So therefore, I would give hold, but not buying at the current levels.
All right, so that's the take coming in on the counter. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now and ET Now, a show where we get you answers for all of your stock-related queries. Remember, viewers, you can connect to us on the number that will be flashing on the top of your screen. And we have a guest to answer that already. We have Kunal Bothra, who's joining us once again on the technical front, while we have Mr. Chokkalingam, who's joining us on the fundamentals. Very thank you to both of you, gentlemen, for actually making our time for the show and also joining us on such a short notice. Thank you so much once again for being a part of the show. Let me take this query then. It's coming from Jayakrishnan, and he wants to know at what levels can he look to buy Dixon Tech as well as HAL for the medium term. Kunal, both of these counters have had their fair share of rally, isn't it? They've seen a sharp rise over the last 1 year or so. What's your take coming in on both of them, Dixon Tech as well as HAL? What would be now the right price to buy both of them?
See, I think when I look at the charts for both of these stocks, Dixon Tech specifically, I think is a chart which is not given any major kind of a correction. The correction has been, very shallow for the stock. It lasts for just about a week or so, and the stock manages to make a very strong comeback. In fact, at current levels of 12,500, 600 plus, where the stock is trading, it's on the verge of a breakout of such kind of a consolidation as well as a minor correction. So I would probably believe that buying this stock at current levels, and in case if there is any kind of a dip, say of 5% approximately, that could be a very good point where you should look to buy. I would be very bullish on the stock from a medium to long term scale, even at current levels. HL on the other hand, the best part about the charts right now is that the stock has come back towards at least a 15 to 17% correction. So from the previous size of 5500, the stock is now almost at 4700 levels. Very attractive territory for longer term traders to try and enter into the stock, but keep some powder dry in case if the stock gets into a second leg of correction, comes back to say 44, 4500, that could be another zone where you may look to average further.
All right, then moving on to the next query. And Kunal, what's this query is from Ashish from Gurgaon, and I guess he's writing to us for the first time. He has got PCBL, 1000 shares, buy price is 325 rupees. He wants advice that in the next 6 to 12 months, how do you see the stock moving?
See, I'm very bullish on the stock from a 6 month, 1 year to 2 years kind of a time frame, because what the stock has shown this time around is a very strong classical price volume breakout, and something which has been due for the stock for quite some time. So this is the first time in a month on the monthly charts rather that the stock is showing a classical volume breakout, something which the stock had not shown over the last I think 6 years, 8 years or 10 years kind of a time frame, which means that what we are looking out for is a cusp of a very strong uptrend. Now it's very difficult to forecast how much can the stock go, because with these kind of volume patterns the stock opens up a very strong leg of price uptrend. So the best way to try and trade the stock is to have a trailing stop loss, which could be maybe a 2-month swing low. That could be a trailing stop loss which you can keep, and as and how the stock keeps on moving up higher on a monthly or on a quarterly basis, you can keep on trailing the stop losses higher.
Alright, this one is coming from Jayadevappa. I'm not sure if you track this one, Mr. Chokkalingam. HMA Agro. He's holding this counter since the IPO. He wants to know what should he do. Will he get good returns in the next 1 year? Do you track this one by any chance?
Not really. I'm sorry. I've not heard about this company.
Yeah, no problem. I'll take the next one then, and this one is coming in from a level from actually Parthasati, who's a senior citizen, writing to us from Chennai. He wants a technical view actually, Kunal, on the OMCs. 10 to 12% profits is what he's sitting on all these three counters. Should he continue to hold or look to book profits? IOC, BPCL, HPCL.
See, the only concern over the charts for OMCs, because it's completely volatile in terms of the way the crude oil prices move. So I think that's the only concern with the stock prices for the OMC names. Right now, what we are seeing on the charts is mild bit of recovery, which has come back again into the likes of IOC, BPCL, and HPCL. So you may expect the uptrend to continue for a short time, but I would probably look at the set of stocks into a scale where on the rises the stock becomes a good zone where you may look to book profits, and on the way down when these stocks get back into a corrective phase, say comes back to their respective 50-day moving averages, they could actually be good territories where you may look to start creating fresh longs into the stock price. So as of now, ride the trend, but I think whenever the stock gets into a overbought territory, I think it's a good time where you may look to book profits.
All right, moving on to the next query. Kunal, Ravi from Hyderabad wants your advice on Windlass Biotech. I'm not sure whether you track this one or not, but just on the charts, if you can help him with whether to book some profits or continue to hold on, because he's holding 350 shares and buy price is 333 rupees.
See, the chart history of course is very limited for Windlass Bio, but over the last I think 2 years or 3 years, precisely. So I think on the short term time frame, it looks attractive because the way the stock has trended in the last 6 months, 1 year, it's crossed above the 200-day moving average. It's trading above the 50 DMAs. It's trying to take some good support. But the only concern is the recent sell-off or the negative candlestick which had happened for Windlass when the stock corrected from I think 900 to 700, 705 on a single trading session. So that I think could probably create a pressure into the stock price over the near term. I would suggest that maybe book some partial profits over here at current levels, keep a trailing stop loss which is at 50-day moving average for the stock, which currently I think is placed at 743, 745 for the stock.
Right. Mr. Chokkalingam, coming next to you, this one is coming from Mr. Mahesh, who is a senior citizen, writing to us from Delhi. He wants to know about VATech Wabag. He's saying he has 300 shares of VATech Wabag at the price of 354 rupees per share. Should he continue to hold on to this one or look to exit? VATech Wabag, good run that this one has seen over the last 3 months or so. And also given the fact that the company's presence is in a very niche segment. I believe it's in the water treatment segment, isn't it? What's your take coming on VATech Wabag? Stay put with this, ride this wave, or look to book profits?
I firmly believe that you should book profit because, yes, the business model is attractive, but then if you see last 10-year history, it always frequently had a problem of high receivable and high inventory. So I would give a sell call on this company.
Right, but with this viewers, it's time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere as we come right back. We will take more of your stock related queries, so stay tuned for more.
Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell on ET now. Let's continue taking your queries then. This next one is coming to you, Mr. Chokkalingam from Sridhar. He's writing to us from all the way from Coimbatore. And 650 shares of Shreyas Shipping is what he has in his portfolio. 370 rupees per share. Does it even make sense to stay put with this one?
I may be wrong, but I've gone through, historically it's a balance sheet business model. Somehow I have my own apprehensions on its balance sheet. So I would not give any buy or hold recommendation on the stock.
All right, Mr. Chokkalingam, any advice on Suprajit Engineering? This query is coming in from Divya. She has already got 150 shares and earning almost 40% profit in this one. What to do in this particular stock, because the stock has come off its highest point in the last couple of weeks, but good to hold on maybe for the next 2 years, or move out and look for better opportunities.
It's extraordinarily good company, good business model, good management. There is no doubt at all. Also created a lot of wealth, but being related to automobile sector, right now I would give a sell call. In case the stock falls anywhere from 10 to 15%, then one can consider for long term, because suddenly many segments of automobile sector is facing they are facing the stress now. So I would give sell call now, but definitely if it falls by any chance, even 10%, one can consider buying back.
All right, NBCC is the counter, Kunal. This one is coming from Deepak. He's writing to us from Jaipur. He has NBCC at a price of 177 rupees per share, around 200 shares of this counter. What should he do? He's saying he can hold maximum for only a month.
So I think from a month perspective, maybe I think 140, 142 could be a decent target. Rather 200, 202 could be a decent target for the stock, because that's a zone where the stock has been taking some bit of resistance over the near term. The good part about the stock is that it's taking support at the 50-day moving average, which means currently your trailing stop loss, which you can keep for NBCC, could be closer to 173. If you have a time frame of just about 3 to 4 weeks, that's 1 month. And on the upside, I think 200, 202 could be a target which you can look out for.
All right, then the next query that I have is coming in from Krishna from Bangalore. And Mr. Chokkalingam, he wants an advice on Senco Gold. Can he make a fresh investment out here with a holding period of 2 years?
No, I don't advise holding the stock.
Okay. This next one is coming in from a viewer, that is B. Soumya, writing to us from Chennai. Kunal, as Advanced Enzymes, do you think it's a good stock to buy at current price, and what's of a target? If yes, should be a buy then?
I think it's a very good stock to look out for from the mid-cap arena. The stock is confirming a breakout on the longer-term charts. I've been tracking the stock over the last few weeks, and especially when at a point when the stock was on the verge of a breakout around the 380-85 mark, I think 1 or 2 months back, towards the point when the stock is almost at 450 plus levels, where it's confirming a breakout, which was more anticipatory, a few weeks back. So I think in that aspect, I think it's a good stock where you can look to buy or even hold at current levels.
All right, the next query that I have, Kunal, is specifically from you. Sarma from Hyderabad has been holding Tata Power. Buy price is 435 rupees, and it's been holding for the last 2 months. But how do you see the setup on the technical front?
I think it's a very good stock, and the best part is that the stock has come back towards a major support point. So, I remember, I think Tata Power, when it was almost at those 200, 250 levels, the stock used to just about guide into a trading range. Sub 200 was a major support. I think a similar kind of a tendency is coming back again for Tata Power on the charts, where 400, 420 approximately is a major support point for the stock. So keeping maybe a 400 as a trailing stop loss, I would suggest to hold on to Tata Power. And on the upside, you could probably be looking out for 450 to 470 as a near to medium term target.
All right, Mr. Chokkalingam, this one is coming from Mithilesh Kumar, and I believe from his past messages that he is a senior citizen. He has about 1,500 shares of Laurus Labs, which he's purchased at levels of 366 rupees per share. He's saying that the stock does not move. He wants to know what's the future of the stock. I believe he was asking for a technical view, but Laurus Labs is one of those counters which actually reacts to its numbers, and there are sharp movements that the stock actually logs in on back of that. But what's your take coming in on Laurus Labs? He's making a decent set of profit. Should he stay put with this?
He can stay put because yes, it is going through little difficulties in margins, but with the rupee hitting all-time low and opportunities still plenty for the products of Laras Lab. So short term it may fail, but if he's a long-term investor, definitely he can continue to hold it for another 1 or 2, 3 years.
All right, Kunal, the next query is from Hema from Chennai, and she's holding GRSE and Cochin Shipyard. Okay, specifically for GRSE, she has shared the buy price, which was at around 1600 rupees. What to do in this particular counter?
See, I think both of these stocks are going through their natural phase of correction, and I call it natural because of the way these stocks had gone up into a steep uptrend. So right now it's a phase of mean reversion. The pace of sell-off is, I would not say intensifying, but it's increasing a bit over the last few trading sessions for both of these names. So I think if you are holding on to these stocks, I would probably believe that maybe over the next couple of days, if you see a bounce back into these names, and if for example both of these stocks they rise up by 5% to 7% kind of a margin from their current market prices, that could be a good point where you may look to book out profits or at least partial profits, and then keep on in terms of buy territory. If these stocks come back to their say respective 200-day moving average, that could be a zone where you may look to buy them back again. So sell on rise, at least a partial profit booking on rise, and a buy on dips could be a strategy for the stocks.
All right. This next one that I have is coming in from a viewer, Krishna Kumar. He wants to know about Titagar Wagon, Kunal. He wants to know whether he should look to average right now, wait for further correction. His buy price is 1,645 rupees per share. Titagar Rail, the stock is known as now. What's your take on this one? Do you think it makes sense to average? His buy price a bit higher?
Well, you can look to average. I think it's a good zone, but I'm not sure whether it's the exact price point where you may look to buy. I strongly see that potentially 1250, 1300 could be a base which the stock may test, looking at the way the volumes have panned out, because in this leg of downtrend for the stock, the volumes have been a lot more shallow for Titagar. So that means that potentially the stock may see a lot of support as well as demand when it taps back into a strong support territory that is closer to 1250, 1300 mark. So I'm not sure whether the stock would enter into those price points, but in case if it does, that could be a very good zone where you may look to average.
All right, that's the take on Titagar Rail. But with this, viewers, it's once again time to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. You're watching bnsn on ET Now. Let's continue taking all of the stock-related query. Mr. Chokkalingam, I have some couple of viewers who've written to us. Given the fact that you're especially on the show, they've asked me to check with you some good recommendations that you have for a period of 2 to 3 years, whether it's from the large cap space or from a mid cap space where one can actually go ahead and deploy some funds right now.
Yeah, definitely I would share. I would suggest that, don't miss the valuation. One good thing is happening in this market, the whole small cap is not cracking, but a lot of overvalued stocks are cracking. It's a very healthy trend. So it gives a lot of optimism to people like us who always look for value. From this perspective, 1 to 3 years, I would give a few ideas. One is Nesco, which is my usual passionate stock. I believe one day it will become a multi-bagger in a phenomenal way, and I also personally hold. And second, Geo Financial Services. Third, Indoco Remedies. Fourth, Axelia Solutions. Axelia Solution IT company owned by world's largest PE fund and one of the highest margins within the peer group. So these are some of the stocks in the small cap space. And also I keep suggesting that minimum 40-50% of the assets should be in the large cap. So 2 large cap stocks I would strongly recommend. One is Dr. Reddy Labs and second is Interglobe Aviation. I have a firm view that oil price has already corrected. It will continue to correct and would remain subdued at least for next 1-2 years, which will be positive for airline businesses. So therefore, I believe Interglobe Aviation will be a beneficiary. And the third large cap stock is Reliance Industries. So Reliance Industries, Dr. Reddy, Interglobe. These are the 3 large cap stocks I have a highest conviction.
Right, moving on to the next query. And Kunal, what's your view on Tata Tech? Nikhil from Noida has the stock at an average price of 1,070 rupees. What's the near-term view in this?
So it still looks like that the stock is going through a phase of correction consolidation. The only change which has happened for Tata Tech is that the last few attempts which the stock has made towards the 50 DMA and the crossover of 1000 plus mark has been met with a much higher set of volumes, which means slowly and steadily the volumes are making a comeback for the stock. The breakout point to break this pattern of lower highs and lower lows for Tata Tech could be when the stock crosses levels of 1060 to 1080. That could be a point where you may look to start going into a much more stronger conviction revival uptrend for Tata Tech. As of now, you may start looking at buying the stock in the anticipation of a breakout, but as I said, 1060, 1080 could be a breakout point where you may look to add further.
All right, just taking a detour from the queries then. Anil Ambani's firm, which has approached the NCLT, is requesting the court to direct Hinduja-owned international holdings to cease using the Reliance brand name as soon as the resolution is planned. Resolution plan is approved for Reliance Capital. My colleague Ankur is here with more details. Ankur, over to you.
Yes, Reliance Group has now moved NCLT in Reliance Capital acquisition matter. Now, all questions are raised. Why are you using the Reliance name? A company named Anil Dhirubhai Ambani Ventures, which is owned by Anil Ambani, has questioned the usage of Reliance after the deal is approved. Remember, NCLT has allowed that up till 3 years this name Reliance can be used, but now the questions will be asked to court that as per the agreement, as per the rights which are there by Reliance Group over the usage of the word Reliance, how can this be allowed? Now all eyes will be there on the proceedings of the matter, what court decides, because the question is on the approval of the deal which is already happened by the court. Now this intervention application has been filed after the deal is in final stages, and now they are asking the questions that how this was allowed because they were not made party to the deal earlier. So it may derail the matter. That is also one of the view. But all in all, the question has been raised on the usage of Reliance in Reliance Capital after it has been acquired by Hindujas.
All right, so that's the story. But moving on and getting back to the stock-related queries, then we have both of our guests with us. And Mr. Chokkalingam, the next query that I have is coming in on HFCL, wherein Girdhar from Andhra Pradesh wants to know about this counter. He has already bought the shares at a price of 135 rupees. Do you like this company, and is it good to hold this counter, or maybe move out and look for better opportunities?
Maybe around 145-50 range one can sell. I think at that price range it is fairly valued.
All right, this one is coming in from Rajiv. He's writing to us from Mumbai, and I'm not sure if you tracked this one by any chance, Mr. Chokkalingam, but this is a very recently listed counter, that is Unicommerce eSolutions. It listed as early as last week. He wants to know whether it's a good long-term bet and worth buying at current levels.
Most of the recently listed stocks are not worth for long-term at all. That's my personal view. And for short to medium term, I think they should approach the technical analyst to take the view, because momentum is more important than the fundamentals for the recently listed stocks, almost at least for 90% of the stocks. So therefore, I would leave it to the technical analyst to guide them. Fundamentally, I don't find much scope for 9 out of 10 listed stocks in the last few months.
So the technical analysts here will not talk about all of these recently listed counters, given the fact that very limited chart history. But yes, that this sort of question has been raised by a lot of analysts actually on the show, while you talk about the recently listed counter, whether you can look to go ahead and buy them, the listing pop they're seeing, and also talking about the valuations of these counters. So let me move on then. Let me take another query. This one is coming in from Geeta. Okay. Geeta wanted to know which are the stocks Mr. Chokkalingam mentioned a short while ago. Just for your sake, Geeta, and for the benefit of all of our viewers, Mr. Chokkalingam was positive on Nesco as well as Geo Financial when you talk about the mid-cap space, while on the large-cap front, He is positive on Dr. Reddy's, Reliance Industries, as well as Interglobe Aviation. So these are the counters that Mr. Chokkalingam spoke about a short while ago. The next query is coming in from Aparna. She's writing to us from Calicut, and she's holding 250 shares of EMS as well as KFin Tech in a portfolio, Kunal. Mr. Chokkalingam. EMS she bought at the levels of around 245, while KFin Tech she bought at the levels of 325 rupees per share. She's bought both of them during the IPO allotment. Post that, she has not added on to these counters. What's your take? Make sense to stay put with them now for 3 to 4 years?
Unless they fall, anywhere 10 to 20%, I would say that would range to book profits now.
Chokkalingam, once again coming to you. This query is from Veni, and he is looking to invest rupees 5 lakh in any of the housing finance companies. Some of the listed plays between Hoodco, PNB Housing. Do you like any of the stock at this price point? He's looking any of your 2 top bets from this sector where he can invest for the next 1 year.
My suggestion to the retail investor, unless they are professionals themselves, don't love the sector, love making money in the stock market. So don't have a preconceived notion that you must invest only in this sector unless you are a professional and you understand the sector very well. Since he has asked about housing sector, finance sector, definitely we have a buy coverage on PNB Housing, which is one of the cheapest housing finance companies, trading at around 1.5 times price to adjusted book value, and the management has taken a lot of initiatives to restructure the balance sheet, to restructure the business model. So I remain very confident about the management capability as well. So therefore, he can consider PNB Housing.
All right, with this we have already addressed 20 queries in the show, but many more to go because we have a lot of queries trickling yet again. And the next query that I have, Kunal, is coming in on IRCTC, wherein Satya Veni is holding the stock 200 in quantity, buy price is 1120 rupees. What's the view in this one? Book some loss out here or continue to hold?
Continue to hold on, and I think at current levels of 900 approximately, it's a good territory where you may look to even average further for IRCTC because it's come back towards a mean reversion of 200 DMA. The volumes have ebbed off. The indicators are have started to enter into an oversold territory. There could be a residual correction into the stock over the near term, but I think approximately 900 could be a good point where you may look to average further.
All right, the next query that I have, Mr. Chokkalingam, is coming in from Krishna Kumar, holding NHPC at a price of 113 rupees. Is that still a hold, or maybe you should move out of this one? He is a long-term investor though.
Move out of this stock because hydropower, you can't expand the capacity. It is not in your hands. It is based on the the geography of the country and the nature. So there is always a limit to increase the capacity in the short to medium term. Even in the long term, it is not that difficult, not that easy. So considering also the valuation, I believe NHPC is a good sell now.
HPC is a good sell at current levels. The next query that I have, Kunal, is coming from Indu and wants an advice on 2 counters, Angel One as well as Affle India. Any of the stock that you like amongst these 2 for a fresh investment with a medium-term outlook?
Yeah, both of the charts are interesting. Affle as well as Angel One. Angel One is coming back into a recovery mode. So I think the stock has gone through a very sharp correction over the last 6, 8 months, 9 months or so. And I think at current levels of 2500 approximately, the stock looks to be attractive. Yes, the last 2 days the stock has already seen a jump of 20%. But I believe if you're a long-term investor, then I think buying at current levels and when waiting for mild correction could be a good strategy where you can look to average further also. Affle on the other hand is a stock which has confirmed a breakout in the long-term charts already. The stock is already at a multi-week, multi-year high for itself. So trading at 1600 plus level. So even at current levels, would suggest a buy if you're a long-term investor.
All right, the next query that I have is coming in from Manish Bhatt, and Kunal, once again coming to you because he's holding 1 lot of MCX and his buy price is 4890 rupees. How do you see this stock moving?
See, I think my near-term targets for MCX, which I had highlighted a few weeks back, is closer to 5,000. Now, buying at 4890 leaves the risk reward a lot more tricky because you're looking at maybe a 100 point, 120 point upside into the stock price. But because of the steep run-up the stock has seen in the last 3-4 days, the downside could be as much as 200 to 50 points as well before the stock gets into a recovery. So because the risk reward being skewed, I would not suggest to keep this as an open trade on the futures side, you have to maybe hedge it or keep a trailing stop loss of 4800 on closing basis for MCX.
All right, Mr. Chokkalingam, the next query is coming from Manjula from Chennai, and firstly she wants to thank you for your advice on Lloyd's Engineering, and she continues to hold this stock with a buy price of just 24 rupees. Good to book out some profits right here or continue to hold on for the long term?
Book profit now at current levels.
Right, that's advice coming in on Lloyd's Engineering. The next query that I have is on Jupiter. It's on Jupiter Wagons. Kunal, if you can guide Nirmal Chaudhary on Jupiter Wagons, how do you see this? It's one of the recent purchases of her, but in the loss. How much loss is there? She didn't mention that, but how do you see the stock set up on the charts?
See, almost similar manner in which I mentioned for many of the other railway stocks like Titagarh, etc., where these stocks are likely to come back to their potential long-term moving average is the 200 moving average. So I think in this case for Jupiter Wagon, that level is around 450 to 460 mark. So say if the stock continues to get into this downward drift, you might expect the stock to go levels below 500 levels. That could be a good starting point where you will to average further, so that you can drop down your cost price and then buy the stock back again at a strong support territory, which should be closer to this 200 moving average.
All right, but with this, viewers, it's time's up in this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. In total, 26 queries is what we have addressed today, and for that, thank you so much Kunal and Mr. Chokkalingam for joining us today and helping all our viewers resolve their stock-related queries. But with this, viewers, it's a goodbye from me and Cheryl and the entire team who put the show together. Thank you so much for watching, but don't go anywhere. Markets at noon will take the action ahead.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.